Never seen such an arrogant defendant. He's drinking coffee in court, right in front of everyone. The judge reminds him to make a statement, but he just waves his hand and passes the coffee to the lawyer next to him.
Hold on just a second.
But before he can even make good on his crazy talk of sending the judge to jail, he suddenly coughs up a mouthful of blood. Edward gets rushed to the hospital, but he's still as arrogant as ever there. Even the doctors just have to take his scolding. Turns out, the whole hospital is his private property. As a billionaire, Edward's just that unrestrained. He looks down on every ordinary person around him equally. Even when he's hospitalized, he has to bring that coffee machine that shows off his status. But the next second, he spots a black man in the bed next to him. It's their first meeting, and obviously, it's not a pleasant one.
What the hell was that?
Who the hell are you?
He said, oh God, what am I, in the morgue?
Edward's hair gets shaved off, and he keeps complaining he's in his own hospital but can't get a private room. He has to share with a half-dead zombie, as he puts it. His assistant reminds him the rule of 2 beds per room was set by himself. Soon after, Edward gets wheeled into the operating room for a craniotomy. The real tragedy? He's got endless wealth, but no one by his side. Worth hundreds of millions, yet all alone. Can that life really be called a success? In contrast, Carter always has family around his bed. When his wife sees he's in a bad mood, she asks after him warmly. Edward watches all this, and he's secretly envious. But his usual sense of superiority stops him from giving in to reality.
I believe more people die from visitors than diseases.
The next day, the doctor tells Edward the surgery went fairly well. Next up is the first round of chemotherapy. At this point, Edward's still putting on a tough front.
Love the smell of chemo in the morning.
Say, Doc, you think you could just take a look at
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm running late. Who's your doctor?
Dr. Gibbon?
Okay, I'll let the nurse know.
Later, Edward starts talking to Carter on his own. He wants to hear from this experienced guy what chemotherapy feels like. Carter tells him, it's not too bad. Just don't mind throwing up all day, watching your veins turn black, and your bones getting weaker. The rest feels almost like sunbathing by the beach. Right then, Carter notices that fancy coffee machine. Edward can't help but show off his favorite civet coffee, but he has no idea Carter actually knows all about how that coffee's made. Carter says if he had to drink that stuff, he'd rather make a cup of regular instant coffee. As he says it, he helps Edward straighten the call button. The assistant prepares a whole table of good food to reward the boss. After a hard day of chemotherapy, Edward wants to invite Carter to have some.
No thanks, I'll pass.
You sure?
Yeah. Best in L.A. Ain't the best in L.A. no more.
In the days that follow, Edward becomes a regular in the bathroom. Either he's having diarrhea, or he's throwing up non-stop. Looking at his haggard self in the mirror, he can't help but sigh. Guys who die of a heart attack at least go quick, he says. In the days after that, they both silently endure the torture of chemotherapy. One night, Carter's shaking all over from the pain. Another night, Edward's suffering like he's dying. Maybe it's because they share the same suffering. Slowly, they actually become friends. They walk together, play cards together, kill the boring time together. That day, Edward notices Carter writing something quietly. He wants to ask more, but Carter just puts on his headphones. Just then, the doctor comes into the ward with a serious look. He tells Edward his time is running out.
6 months. A year if we're lucky. I mean, there is an experimental program that we've been conducting, and I don't want to get your hopes up, but I think you would be an excellent candidate for that. I mean, it's cutting edge.
Hey, Doc,
Yes.
you're blocking my view. One question.
Sure, of course.
Carter, you want to ask Dr. Holland something?
I mean, I'm not familiar with Mr. Chambers.
Well, get familiar.